We begin tonight with breaking news. Governor Charlie Baker announcing a new set of restrictions coming immediately after Christmas, aimed to slow the spread of COVID-19. Good Tuesday evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Jordyn Jagolinzer. The new restrictions targeting indoor and outdoor gatherings as well as overall capacity, which will impact many local businesses. Western Mass News reporter Kayla Burton spoke with a restaurant in Chicopee on how they plan on adjusting to these upcoming restrictions. Kayla?
Chris and Jordan, I spoke with the manager here at Frontier Grill in Chicopee, and she says she feels like there's a new restriction by the month. She says while these guys have adjusted before, guess what? They're going to have to keep on making these adjustments. This comes as the governor has decided to already revert back to phase 3. Step 1 in its reopening plan. Many local restaurants and businesses already impacted by the fallback. Come Saturday, this impact will be even greater as Governor Charlie Baker says business capacity will be lowered to 25%. Outdoor gatherings at public venues can be no more than 25 people, and indoor gatherings at public venues no more than 10 people. Manager at Frontier Grill in Chicopee, Brianne Jordan, tells Western Mass News the initial restrictions were already difficult to adjust to, and now with more coming their way, she says it's no surprise.
It was a lot to tackle in the beginning. When we first did, we had to build all these things between the booths, and personally I struggled when it came to wearing a mask every day, and I can honestly tell you it's just become normal at this point now.
Jordan says it's encouraging to know these restrictions are planned to only be in place for 2 weeks. She says her staff will have to continue to adjust on the fly. Now, Jordan says they will also continue to step up their efforts when it comes to curbside pickup as well as delivery. Now, coming up later on Western Mass News tonight, how this decision not only impacts local restaurants, but also a lot of businesses as well. For now, live in Chicopee, Kayla Burton, Western Mass News.
Kayla, thank you for that live report. It's been almost a week since the massive snowstorm, the nor'easter. While the streets are clear, bus stops here in Western Mass are still, many of them, covered in snow, making it dangerous for people to wait for the bus.
Western Mass News reporter Sarah Gurnelli has the latest on the snow cleanup. Sarah?
Of course, Jordan, we drove around Springfield and saw several bus stops that weren't safe for people to wait at, not to mention people in wheelchairs. Now, we did reach out to the city and the PVTA, and there seems to be some push and pull as to who's really responsible for cleaning these bus stops.
It's not safe for my wife.
Joseph Roman and his wife Cameron Vasquez rely on public transit in Springfield to get around. But after a major snowstorm dumped close to a foot or more of snow in Western Mass, it makes it dangerous for them to wait for the bus.
It's not safe. It's mainly for the wheelchairs, or the baby carriages. Sometimes they have to go on the street because sometimes, it's too much snow.
According to Springfield city officials, the PVTA is responsible for clearing out bus stops. However, we reached out to the PVTA. They sent us a statement that says snow removal is the responsibility of the property owners or the municipality. The statement goes on to say PVTA would be unable to effectively provide snow removal while accomplishing our mission of providing public transportation. Western Mass News found bus stops off Piedmont Street, Main Street, and several others that were not cleared, so people could not wait for the bus safely. And now, whether it's the city, the PVTA's responsibility, or the business owners, the couple I spoke with say they just want to make sure that they can stand at a bus stop and be safe. Live in Springfield, I'm Sarah Gurnelli for Western Mass News.
Sarah, thanks for that live report. Residents at the Lena Lane condo complex in West Springfield are trying to move forward after a fire broke out on Friday night. Some units are left to total loss, but one person who lived in the complex tried to put out the fire before it just got too overwhelming. Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis is live outside the condominium complex with more. Leon?
Chris, Jordan, Eric Velez is a Holyoke Animal Control Officer, and he also works for the Board of Health as well. Now, he tells me that he was just trying to do the right thing by helping his neighbor, but to others, that can be considered a heroic act.
Feeling overwhelmed, feeling physically, mentally sort of emotionally drained.
That's what Eric Velez is thinking after he just lost everything in his condo Friday night. He asked us not to show him on camera. He tells Western Mass News his neighbor had knocked on his door asking him to call 911. That's when he grabbed a fire extinguisher out of his kitchen after he was told his neighbor's child knocked over a candle.
Put out the fire with this little fire tank here thing, and went downstairs. As I come downstairs, I see all the smoke coming out of her house, and quickly realized that this is not just a candle fire. This is much more.
Velez tells us he went back upstairs in his condo and saw flames in his kitchen from the floor to the ceiling. He told everyone in his condo to leave, ensuring his mother got out safely. That type of heroic act is one of the reasons why there is an outcry of support from the community for Velez and his family. He says he is very overwhelmed considering the times we're in.
These are the holidays. These are tough times for everyone. COVID year. So everyone's in a financially restrained, I'm sure, that much more so to have this happen and still have the uproaring support of my friends and family and even some strangers.
Considering the tragedy that just happened to Velez, he is just living day by day and hoping for the best.
I don't know what I'll need tomorrow. I don't know what I'll need 3, 6, 9 months from now, 12 months. Hopefully by then I'll be back home, or in some place. If it's not here, it's somewhere.
Velez is currently staying with family. There is a GoFundMe set up for Velez and his family as they are starting from scratch. Now that link will be on our website, westernmassnews.com. Live in West Springfield, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
Leon, thank you for that live report. Turning now to the latest coronavirus numbers in the state over the last 2 weeks. Today, the Mass Department of Public Health reporting more than 3,000 new cases of COVID-19. So that brings the total number of confirmed cases in the Bay State to more than 318,000. And more than 82,000 of those are believed to currently be active. The state also reporting 43 new deaths. The statewide death toll stands at 11,549. And as the COVID-19 pandemic continues into the winter, food insecurity is a growing concern all across Western Mass. But Springfield Public Schools is doing all they can to ensure that no child goes hungry this holiday season. Grab-and-go meals are being provided by the Springfield Public Schools homegrown culinary and nutrition program. Superintendent Daniel Warwick says staff quickly adjusted to meet the needs brought on by the pandemic back in March and continue to this day. So far, they've delivered more than 5 million meals to needy families.
It speaks to the needs during the pandemic, how it really has increased the food security issues relative to what our families are facing. And the response to our program has been outstanding.
Participating families will receive 7 days worth of breakfast, lunch, and dinners per child to last through Christmas and the weekend.
Late Monday night, Congress passed a $900 billion spending bill aimed at providing coronavirus relief to Americans. Congressman Richard Neal says this is a step in the right direction. Congressman Neal tells Western Mass News he's pleased with the outcome, but it's not enough. There will be additional unemployment assistance, which will add $300 a week for those who are on unemployment. It will also extend expiring unemployment assistance, such as financial help for gig workers.
Unemployment insurance would help to simultaneously provide liquidity to people at the lower end of the economic spectrum, but at the same time create demand.
There will also be another round of stimulus checks, this time for $600. Once the president signs it, the stimulus checks could be sent out as soon as next week. And for more coverage on the coronavirus emergency as it develops, be sure to log on to our free streaming Western Mass News app.
Today marks 21 years since the shooting deaths of Holyoke police officer John Dinapoli. Dinapoli was a 21-year veteran of the department. He was shot to death on the morning of December 22nd, 1999. The 52-year-old was running an errand when he volunteered to respond to a disturbance call. The man convicted of shooting and killing Officer Dinapoli is currently serving life in prison without parole. A memorial in Officer Dinapoli's honor sits across from the Holyoke Police Department headquarters on Appleton Street.
Christmas Christmas coming a little early to Western Mass for children in the area so that they can have something to open up Christmas morning. I'm Kaylee Pugliese, and I'll have the details coming up.
And later, it won't be your typical New Year's Eve at Mohegan Sun or Foxwoods. What guests can expect if they head down to that end this year.
And we have one more dry day coming our way tomorrow and then changes for the Christmas holiday. I'll explain in the full forecast coming up.